staring at the tapestry above the bed you gave me. I still haven't washed my sheets, 'cause I still smell you in the bed you used to rest your head on. How the hell am I supposed to see?
Hello my loves and welcome back to your favorite crochet channel. I'm already wearing what we're crocheting today. I'm going to show you how to crochet the polo shirt pattern that is also now available as a PDF on my BELINA shop, with also the yarn that I use. And I'm excited for everything that is coming. I'm excited that you are as excited as I am about the restock of my own yarn. I still can't believe it. And I hope you enjoy this little video about this cute pattern, and I just want to show you, this is the size that I did. I would say I did a small, like an oversized small. I could have done like an extra small too, but I love my pieces to fit a bit oversized. So this is the fit of the polo shirt that I'm going to show you now, and I'm also going to show you how to adjust it to whatever size you want to wear. And I am excited to see your results, and I can't wait to see pictures of your creation of it. And now, enjoy crocheting! Welcome to Everything You Need. I'm going to be using my own yarn from my second yarn drop, which is, or was, the ocean drop, and it will restock. When filming this video, I'm not actually sure, so it will be somewhere here on the screen. Guys, hello from future BELINA. I have exciting news for you, because the BELINA yarn restock will be available at September 14th, including the BELINA polo shirt pattern that you will be using right now in a tutorial, but like the written version will also be up when the yarn restocks. So just in case you want to use the exact same yarn that I do, my one, and you want to support me, feel free. I'm excited for everything that is coming. I finally feel like everything is coming into place, and my creativity is coming back, and my energy, and to just, I don't know, see where this takes us, and to see what's coming next with my own yarn. I'm so nervous, but anyways, that was the exciting news. Just in case you want to get your hands on some of my yarn, it's international shipping, September 14th. And now I'm gonna leave you to the tutorial. Thank you for your support, sending love. Without you, this wouldn't even be possible, so thank you for crocheting with me. If you want to compare it to the yarn that you have, this one's 150 meters for 50 grams. So this is like a, I think, medium weight cotton, I would say. And I'm going to be using this color as the main color for the front pieces, and this color for my stripes. And the needle that I'm going to be using is 3.5 millimeters. I already crocheted the first front piece just as a little preparation and to make sure that my pattern actually works out. It does. So this is the first front piece, and what we will start with, we're going to do this twice the exact same way for like both sides of the front. So here will be your buttons in the end, and this is your first front side. And the size that I will be crocheting is around a medium, I would say, or like an oversized small. But I will tell you how you can adjust it to whatever size you want to crochet this in. And just for reference, for this first front piece, I used one of these yarn balls for this main color, and this is how much I have left, because I started a second one, like I think for these last 5 rows maybe. So I think for both front pieces, I'm going to use 3 cotton yarns and one of these, like for the stripes. But I will write into the description how much yarn I actually ended up using, so you can get it yourself on my website. No, but like for real, I'm happy for everyone supporting. It's gonna be international shipping, and yeah, feel free to check out the website. That would mean a lot to me. And I would say let's just jump right into how to make your front pieces. So we are going to start by chaining up 41. So take your yarn for like the main color that you want to do your piece of. And we're going to start with the slip knot. If you're not familiar yet with the stitches that I'm using, I will show them up close, but not too detailed. But you can just look up tutorials, like special tutorials only for this one thing that we're doing. So for the slip knot, for example, you're going to wrap this around and then take your hook, take the yarn, pull it through, and then you're going to take the end of the yarn and this piece where the yarn ball is attached and just slip it through. And then you can just pull at the yarn end to make it fit around your hook. And if you have that, we're going to start with 41 chain ups. And chain ups means we're just slipping through the yarn. Don't make them too tight. Just make sure that they are all the same width, kind of, because it's going to look cleaner in the end if they're all the same, yeah, same size. And just make them so that your hook slides through them like pretty easily, I would say. So don't do it too tight, because otherwise the next row is going to be a bit harder to get your stitches into these holes. So yeah, do that. And then once you have 41, I'm going to show you the way that it fits on my body, just so you can compare it and just so you can see if you want to increase it. Because what you can do, if it looks a bit too small on your body, if you want to make it a bit more oversized maybe, or also if it, like if you want it to be a bit more fitted or just smaller, you can add, like you can increase or decrease the piece, like this first chain ups, always by 3. So you have to be able to divide it through 3, like the number that you're adding on top of it. So we're gonna do 41 for my, I would say, small oversized medium fit, but feel free to just increase or decrease by 3. But I will show you the way that it looks on my body, just so you can compare. So I have my 41 chains here, and if I put it like next to my body or like onto my like belly button, which is going to be like the middle of my top, it's like pretty oversized. So if I wrap it around where the shirt is going to sit, it goes a bit further than like my side, where the seam is going to be to the back piece, you know? So it means that it's going to fit oversized. This is my 41 chain ups front piece. And this is the way it sits on my body, so it looks oversized in the end. So if you want it to fit probably smaller, you can just decrease by 3. And if you want it to be, like if it looks a bit too small on your body, you can just add a few more if you want the same oversized fit. So on my shoulder, you know, it just goes a bit further than where it actually ends. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it makes sense. So this is what it looks like on my body. 41 chains. So now that you did your 41 chain ups or more, please write down the number of chain ups that you actually did, because we need this for the other side of your polo shirt front and your back later. So if you increased or decreased by 3, just follow the exact same steps that I will do right now. You will just have a few more stitches then. So what we're going to do now is we're going to skip 5 stitches, including the one on your hook. So like this is the first one we're skipping, the second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one we're like skipping, and into the 6th one we are going to do our first double crochet. So take your yarn, go into the loop, slip it through, and do your first double crochet. And into the same stitch we're going to set another 2 double crochets, because what stitch we are using here is the granny square stitch. And this means that into the same loop we're always going to crochet a set of 3 double crochets. So I will refer to this into this video as like a set of double crochets. And now, without chaining up or anything, like just after your first set of 3 double crochets, you are going to skip 2 chains in between, like as you can see. So as you can see, these 3 did go through this one, so we're going to skip this one and this one, and into this third one we're going to set the next set of 3 double crochets. So this one is used, 1, 2 we're skipping, so into this third one I'm going to set the next set of 3 double crochets. 1, 2 and 3. So don't worry if they like look a bit weirdly shaped, that's normal for the first row. And like this we are going to continue until we arrive almost at the end of the row. For last stitch I will let you know something special. So just continue putting your 3 double crochets into the same loop and always skipping 2 in between, but don't chain up or anything. Just like after your last double crochet of the set, we're just going to directly do the next double crochet, 1, 2, 3rd stitch from the last one you used. And I will continue like this right until the end of the row, and it's going to be a bit more or a bit less than mine anyways for you, however you like decided to increase or decrease the piece. So I will just do this on my own, and then we will meet when we are almost at the end of the row. I'm almost at the end of my row, and now I'm going to show you how we will end and start each row of this front piece. And for the back piece it's going to be the same, so make sure that you always look back at this part of the video if you forgot how to finish each row, because it's a bit different. We're now going to do not 3 double crochets into the last stitch, but only 2. So 1 and 2. And now to start a new row, like this is how we are like finishing every row from now on. And starting each row is going to look like this: 1, 2, 3 chain ups. Then we're going to turn around the project and right into this first big loop right here, like this big hole in between the sets of double crochets, is where we're going to place our sets of double crochets in the next row. So don't go through like one specific loop up here, just go like right into here, this loop, and just crochet around it. And it's going to be like this exact same way for the next, I think, 16 rows. Okay, I just counted, it's exactly 16 rows. So this is our first row, this is the second row, and we're just going to continue exactly like this in this pattern for 16 rows before we're changing colors. So if you want the stripes to be placed somewhere else, if you want to make this whole piece, I don't know, striped, you can switch colors earlier, but I will show you a bit later in this video. So I will show you how to switch colors, or how I switch colors when we arrive at row 17, because 16 rows from now on is going to look exactly the same. And I will also let you do this alone, because whatever you now need for the next 16 rows is already like been here in this video so far. So you can just feel free to always look back, do your 16 rows, and then we're going to meet once we're back. Just make sure that whenever you arrive at the end of a row, like I am right now, into this like very last stitch right here, we're not placing 3, like just place 2 right here where your chain ups, like 3 chain ups from the row before, where oops, 1 double crochet and another one. So always end the row with 2 double crochets, and then always chain up 1, 2, 3 to flip around your project, and then set your first 3 double crochets right into this first loop in between the 2 double crochets and the first 3. And just like this, we're going to continue for 16 rows, and then I'm going to meet you back here. I'm now at this point of my front piece where I want to change colors. So I now want to switch to my blue. I did 16 rows of beige, like 16 3 double crochet rows, you know what I mean, like not counting the chain ups. So I'm now changing to blue, which I just finished 2 double crochets, like the last 2 double crochets, and I'm gonna cut off the yarn. So what I'm always doing to change colors the smoothest, in my opinion, is I'm opening up the last double crochet only halfway. But you can also, like, if you open up the last double crochet, I will show you like how to properly do it. You do your double crochet, like you take your yarn, slip it through, then slip it through the first 2 loops, and then when you have the 2 left on your hook, where you would now take your yarn and close off the last double crochet, you're not going to close off with the beige, you're going to close up with your second color. Like for me it's blue. I'm gonna leave some yarn hanging here, and I'm gonna slip it through, and just like this I'm going to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, the exact way that I would have like started the new row with the beige. Then I'm gonna flip around and I'm gonna start with my double crochets just the way I did the rows before. And in my opinion, this is like the smoothest way to change colors. And what I also do now is I tie these 2 together with like 2 knots like this, for some extra security and safety, so this doesn't open up, and then you can like also sew these in the end. But yeah, for now I'm just gonna do 2 rows of my blue yarn, and then switching just the exact same way that I showed you now, but then from like my blue color to beige again. And I'm going to do 3 blue rows before then changing back to beige. And once I'm here, we will start decreasing. So after your 16 rows of your first color, if you do the same color scheme than I am, you're gonna do 2 blue, 2 beige, 2 blue, 2 beige, 2 blue, and then we're going to meet again at this point where we are going to decrease the piece. So you can take a screenshot now if you want to, and we're gonna meet once you're here. Back in this video, and I'm now going to do my 2 rows, and I'm also going to do now this part off cam, and then I will meet you once we have this part done. If you want to do it like without changing colors, just do these number of rows, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in your color of choice. And then we will meet here.
Staring at the tapestry above the bed you gave me, I still haven't washed my sheets, 'cause I still smell you in the bed you used to rest your head on. How the hell am I supposed to see? Can we both face our demons?
I'm now almost at the last stitches for my last like 3 stripes in the different color, and I'm going to end with a double crochet set of 2. Last double crochet, I'm gonna close off with my beige again. And now for this row, we are not already starting with the decreases, even if it looks like this. The first row is gonna be normal. So my next row is gonna start just like the others. 1, 2, 3. Flip around my project and 3 double crochets into every stitch, and the next row too. So just do that now, like this row that we're working on right now, and the next one too, but the next one we're going to finish off in a different way so that it starts to decrease. So now at the end of this row, we're again going to close it and start it normally. So 2 double crochets and chaining up 3, 1, 2, 3, and flipping around the project and starting normally, because this is where we are at right now. So as you can see, here is where we change colors. This is here. And now we are at this point, and here we're going to keep the line straight. So you can always remember, if you're not sure where to add the decreases or where the piece should decrease and where it should stay the same, just remember that where we have these dangles, the yarn leftovers, this is where we're starting with our decreases. So that means that we're continuing as per usual, 3 double crochets right into here. And once we arrive at the end of this row, we're going to start decreasing. Also, if you're not sure, if you're like happy with the length, you can now try it on and see if you want your neckline to start decreasing there, or if it's a bit too short for you. Because we're like here, so we don't have as many rows left. As a reference, my piece now is around 31, 32 centimeters, where I'm at right now, and the rows that we have left are around 10 to 11 centimeters. So if 10 to 11 centimeters added to your piece, which for me is in total then around 42 centimeters. If that's too short, measuring from your shoulder down to your belly button, if you don't feel comfortable with it, like if you want it to cover a bit more, you can add a few more rows before starting with the decreases. Just so you know that now is the perfect time to add some more rows, but we can also like add details on the bottom, which I will show you later, to make it a bit longer, or you can stretch it when you're blocking it. But just so you know, here is the perfect timing to add a few more rows if you want your piece to cover a bit more of your belly than mine. We're almost at the end of this row, which means we're starting with decreases now. And I'm going to show you how to end and start a row of decreasing. So we're going to add our last 3 double crochets right here. And now, as you know, we would normally finish this row with 2 double crochets in like this place right here. But for the decreases, we are actually doing our last double crochet, like only 1 into this chain up from the row before. And now we are chaining up 3 again, flipping around the project, but now we are not going like into this little space right here. Wait, let me show you. Like not right here, but right here. So we are now doing our first set of 3 double crochets in this space, like between the first 2 sets of 3 double crochets. So do your double crochets not here, but here. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to continue just like this for the whole row. And as you can already see, it's kinda looking like a little decrease already. And now we're gonna do just like sets of 3 double crochets until we're at the end of the row. We're now at the end of this row, and as we remember, because right here, where we're at right now, we don't have our leftover yarns. We have them here, like our little not sewn in ends, which means here at this part, we're gonna keep the straight line, so we're not decreasing here. In fact, we're just doing the exact same ending of the row and beginning as we always do. So 2 double crochets, chaining up 1, 2, 3, turning around and going right in between this space. So after the 2 double crochets right here, just so we can maintain the straight line and we don't decrease here, we're going to now crochet the row and decrease back here at the front where our not sewn in ends are. So we are done with the row, which means we are here at this part, which means we're decreasing again. So just like we did before, we're now doing 1 double crochet into this space. And now chain up 1, 2, 3, flip around your project and set your first set of 3 double crochets, not here, but here. So not here, but right here is where our set of 3 double crochets goes. And now you can just continue exactly like this. So just make sure that you're not decreasing on both sides. Set yourself a marker, or always remember like the little hack with the ends that are here. So you only decrease here, and here you end and start the rows normal. Just have a look back at what I just showed you if you're not sure anymore. And if you did it the same colorway than I do, you should end up with 11 of the rows in this color, like right after this last 2 blue rows. Yeah, 11 rows of this, and then you should be happy with your length. If not, you can always add more rows of decreases. So I will now continue decreasing the exact way that I just showed you until I have the same length then on this side, which is 11 rows in this color. And just make sure that if you added a few more rows without decreasing, that you have 10 decreasing rows in the end. But just have a look how many decreasing rows you want. Maybe you want to add some more because you want like the little V-neck to be a bit longer. So just hold it in front of your body and check if you need some more rows, holding this onto your shoulder. And yep, I'm gonna do this now, and then we're gonna meet once I have both of my front pieces done. Now that we have our 2 front pieces ready, we can start with the back piece. And for the back piece, we're going to start with 80 chain ups for the size that I'm currently doing. So for a small or oversized medium, I would start with 80 chain ups. And if you, for example, increased your front piece a bit because you want it a bit more oversized, for example, you did it in steps of 3, hopefully, and I hope you wrote it down. So let's say instead of 41 chain ups like I did, you for your front piece did 47. That means that the 6 chain ups that you added extra, you're going to double. So we have 12, and then add to the 80 chain ups for the back piece that I'm doing. So you would do 92 instead of 80, because the back piece should align with your 2 front pieces next to each other. So just make sure that the number of chains that you added to your front pieces, if you add them together, that you also add them to your back piece. I mean, you can also just lay it down and kind of eye it, but I would recommend to just maybe count your stitches or look back on your notes that you wrote down, how many chain ups you added, and then also add them to your back piece. So for me, I am now starting with my 80 chain ups. I'm going to start with a slip knot as we did for our front and back piece too. And I'm going to do my 80 chain ups now. And I will meet you once we have them ready, and then I will show you how we're starting with the first row of the back piece, even though it's exactly the same like we did for the front and back pieces, but I will show you once again just so we know what we are crocheting for the next rows. Now that I have my 80 chain ups, I'm going to, just like we did for the front pieces too, skip the first 5 chains, including the one on your hook. So we're going to skip this one on my hook, then the second, third, fourth, and fifth one, and into this 6th one we are setting our first set of 3 double crochets. So take your yarn and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into this 6th one. I'm going to go with my first set of 3 double crochets. And now you already know at this point what's coming next. We're going to skip 2 of the loops, like 2 of the chain ups. This one has already been used, so the next one we're skipping, and this one, and into the 3rd one we're setting the next 3 double crochets. And now we're always skipping 2 chains and setting our next set of 3 double crochets into the 3rd chain up. And just like that, we are going to finish this first row right until this end. It's gonna take a bit longer, but we can do it. And once you arrive almost at the last row, I mean, you technically should know what to do, but I will show you how to then start the next row, just to make sure that everything goes perfectly fine for the back piece. So we're gonna meet once we're here. Almost done with my first row, and now I have 3 chain ups left, which hopefully you do too. And now into this last chain up, we're not setting 3 double crochets but only 2, because that's how we, as you know, end each row. So do your last 2 double crochets into this very last stitch of the chain ups row, or to be correct, the very first one. And now, how do we start each row? Right, with chaining up 1, 2, 3, turning around the project, and now we're setting our first 3 double crochets right into this big loop, not into one chain like on top. Just take the yarn and go right into this big loop and kind of crochet around the first row. So right here, 3 double crochets, and just like this, without chaining up anything in between, we're just continuing with our sets of 3 double crochets, and we're going to continue until we arrive at the end of the row. And I hope you remember that if you arrive here, don't do 3 double crochets into this loop, only do 2. But let me just go for this second row and show you again how to end and start the row, just for safety. And as you know, to close another row, we are not doing 3 but 2 double crochets in this last loop right here. This is the chain ups from the row before. We're gonna do 2, so we have a clean and neat straight line in the end. And now to start the next row, you know what we're doing. We're doing 1, 2, 3 chain ups, flipping around the project, and starting right here with 3 double crochets. And we are going to continue like this for as far as you want to. So if you want to change colors, like on the front piece, just do as many rows as you did until you change colors for the front piece, also for the back piece, and just continue with the same pattern that you did for as many rows as you did for the front piece. Just copy the row order, but we do not increase. So we are going to do this exact thing that we just did for the first 2 rows for the next however many rows you did for the 2 front pieces. So that this is a rectangle in the end, and we do not decrease like we did here on the front pieces. Like this we are not doing. So we're just gonna continue crocheting in this exact row pattern that we did for the first 2 rows for as many rows as you did your front piece lengthwise. And then we're going to meet to go and do the little details. So finish your back piece. I'm gonna do this too off cam now, or in stream, because I'm always streaming. And then we're gonna meet later. Now we are off to the pockets. These are optional, so you don't have to do them. You can feel free to skip if you don't want to add pockets to your piece. I just like the detail. They're not really useful because they're pretty small, but I love just the look of them. So I'm gonna now show you how to do this and then how to add the details. The details I would recommend to watch just because I'm only explaining it once as detailed in this tutorial, and then it's gonna repeat, and I'm just gonna use what I explained to make it a bit quicker when we need it for other decorations on your piece later on. So make sure to not skip all of the pocket part. If you don't need the pockets, have a look at the detail stitch, because later on I'm not going to explain it as detailed anymore. So off to the pockets. We're going to start as always with our slip knot and chaining up 23. And now we're setting our first set of 3 double crochets into the 6th chain, including the one on my hook. So I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right here I am placing my first set of 3 double crochets. And now we're actually just doing the exact same that we did for the front and the back piece already, which is always sets of 3 double crochets, skipping 2 chain ups, 1, 2, and setting our next set right here into the 3rd one. And we're kind of doing a little mini version of what we did before with our front and back pieces. And as you already know, last set of double crochets in the row is not 3, it's only 2. So 1, 2, 3 into this last chain. I am only setting 2 double crochets, pulling it a bit tighter. And we're starting the row, as you know, with chaining up 1, 2, 3. I think I don't have to explain this at this point anymore. Flipping around the project, first set of 3 double crochets through this big space. And now you can continue this exact way, closing the row, as we already know. And now you can continue this exact same way for as many rows as you want your pocket to be high. So for me, I'm doing 8 rows. And yeah, just remember closing off the row with 2 double crochets right here and not 3, and then chaining up 3, flipping around the project, continuing. So do that for as many rows as you need to for your pocket to be high enough. I'm doing 8 rows, and then we're gonna meet and I'm going to teach you how to do the little details. I'm now finishing row 8 of my first pocket, just like this. And I'm gonna do 8 rows, but if you want your pocket to be a bit longer or even shorter maybe, then just feel free to add some more rows or do less. So, as a little explanation of the detail stitch that we're doing, I just drew this cute little sketch to follow along. I'm gonna leave it here. As a little explanation, this stitch, which looks like a little T, this is in half double crochet. These 3 ones are double crochet, and this one is a slip stitch. Where you will use this, whatever, I'm gonna show you. This is just what I'm going to leave right here into this corner, or you can screenshot it if you want to, because this is kind of like the version that you can also find in the written pattern. It's like, I think sometimes nice to see it drawn down. I don't know, it helps me. And now, coming to the last row, I am going to close this off with only 1 double crochet. It's a bit different because we don't want 2 stitches here, because then it's like not even with like, you know, where the detail stitch goes. Just trust me, no need to explain. So now what we're doing is we're flipping around the project, and we're starting right away with our first half double crochet. So we're going to start from this and go to here. So our first half double crochet goes, just as I explained to you before, into the middle one of your first set of 3 double crochets, into the middle one, like the V that you can find on top, you know, like the top loop. We're gonna do a half double crochet, which means taking your yarn, going into the V, slipping it through, and slipping it through again. And double crochet, as you can see in our little drawing, it's 1, 2, 3 double crochets. So I already did 1. Now, second one. And our third one. And now, as you can see, it's 1 more half double crochet into this exact same loop. And then here comes the slip stitch. And the slip stitch doesn't go where we crocheted our like half double crochets and double crochets now. The slip stitch goes where we did set the 3 double crochet sets before. So in between the 3 double crochet sets of the row before, just right into this big space that is here is where we are placing our slip stitch. And now we're going to continue going into this middle V loop. Mine is a bit bigger because I already filmed this once. So start with your half double crochet, the middle one of the 3 into the V, 1 half double crochet, 3 double crochets, all into the same loop, half double crochet, whoops, oopsie, and slip stitch into this bigger space. And just like this, as you can see, you're going to get these beautiful little details. And this side is the side that we're like sewing on later. So this will kind of be gone. So it's good that, you know, it starts a bit more into the pocket, the first detail. And now we're going to do this until we arrive right here. And yeah, then I will meet you here. So do your details, follow this pattern until you arrive here. Last half double crochet. And now I'm doing a slip stitch right here, chaining up 1 and 2 for safety, cutting off my yarn, slipping it through, pulling it tight, and just like this, we have our first pocket with our details, looking cute. And also, like the same way that we did the details now, you can add these details to wherever you want to add them. For example, for my front pieces, I'm also going to add details down here. But because the stitch is like the other direction, you know, we cannot add them on the top V. I'm always going to add them right here where our 3 double crochets did go through, you know, for the details. So if you want to add details there too, feel free. Also, I'm going to add them here. As you can see here on my very first piece, this is like this side. I also did add details here if you want to copy. You can have a look here how I did it. I always did like one of these like set of half double crochet, 3 double crochets, half double crochet into like the, you know, 2 double crochets. Like, you know, if you look at your piece, you have rows of 2 double crochets ending and rows of 1 double crochet ending. And I always did do the details into this row that were like I had 2 double crochets and I did it in between the double crochets. And then here where I only had 1 double crochet ending the row, I did the slip stitch. And then the double crochet set here. So this basically, I did it just like on the side of the double crochets. Do you know what I mean? I hope this makes sense. So with this stitch, you can just add details wherever you want to on your piece. And yeah, for me, I'm going to do it like also here and on the collar, and yeah, I will show you later, but I just want to let you know that you can just freestyle that and use it for, yeah, whenever you need it. So for now, this is the little pocket that we have. Also thinking about adding some like blue details maybe. Not sure yet though. And now we have to do this a second time. So do this a second time and then we're gonna start attaching. Welcome back. My back piece is done and my 2 front pieces, which I am now going to lay on top of the back piece. There's like no front and back side of the piece, just because we're like always flipping the project around when we're crocheting in rows, so you can't do anything wrong. Just make sure that these these sets of 3 double crochets are going into the same direction. So this one's going here. Make sure that the neckline is in the middle and not on the side. So like this. And what we're now going to do is we are going to connect from down here until the point where it feels comfortable to be like an armhole right here. So for me, I'm gonna go, I think, somewhere here and also on the other side. So I'm gonna leave that up to you, just because it's, for everyone, it's a bit different. So just connect from down here to up here. You can sew, you can use whatever technique you want to use. I'm going to show you my technique while we are connecting this shoulder part right here. So from the corner of the back and the front piece up until where the neckline starts to kind of like increase. And here we're going to add our collar. And also for our little pockets that we did, feel free to sew these on in whatever kind of way you want to sew them on. You can also sew them on here, which I think would be like really cute, like more on top of the project. I'm gonna sew them on here, but I'm gonna use my sewing machine just because I'm so not ready to do this by hand. You can also do it by hand. Feel free to use whatever technique you're comfortable with. I'm gonna show you my favorite connecting technique now, but while we are connecting the shoulder parts up here. So let's go. So I'm gonna take my yarn and start with a slip knot as usual. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start from the outer corner and I'm gonna take the 2 loops, like for the back piece, this is the last V that I can find, and for the front piece, it's this one. Just make sure that you start like really at the back. And what I'm gonna do, my favorite connecting technique, is taking the inner V parts, like this one and this one, and just taking my slip knot and pulling it through. And now you want to chain up 1 and pull everything tight. And from now on we are always taking the inner V. So here, this one, go over the yarn that I'm using into the V, the inner V loop on the other side, slipping it through all of the loops, and that's it. Now off to the next inner V, which is here and here, taking the yarn and slipping it through. That's just the usual technique that I go for, and I would recommend you to just use like whatever you feel comfortable with and whatever you like. That's just my favorite thing to connect. And I'm gonna do this now for both sides of the shoulders, right until we reach this last loop here. Now I am at the V of the last set of 3 double crochets before I'm decreasing, and so I'm going to slip it through here, and the next stitch I'm gonna like slip through this one and the whole part of this last stitch. I just feel like that looks a bit cleaner. And now I'm chaining up 1, 2, cutting off my yarn, slipping it through, and now I'm going to do this exact same way also on the other side of the other front piece, like the shoulder part, and from down here up until where I feel like it's comfortable having the arm opening, so you can just try it on and just figure out how high you want the piece to be closed. And then we're going to meet again, and I'm going to show you how to do the collar of the polo shirt. Then we're kind of done already. So now that both shoulder parts are attached to each other and connected, I'm going to show you how to do the neckline. Feel free to adjust it to however you want your piece to look like. But for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a slip knot. And I'm going to start to add like a few rows of the same stitch that we worked with, but around the neckline. So as you can see, up until this point, we didn't decrease the piece. So this is also where I'm setting the first double crochets. So I'm going to take the slip knot, slip it through, then chain up 1, 2. This is our first double crochet, and we're only going to do 2 double crochets into this first loop, and then without any slip stitches in between, we're going to set the next set of 3 double crochets right here in this bigger loop of the row. And so we're going to do kind of the same stitch that we did all the rows before, but kind of in a different direction. Next one, I'm gonna go here, and always into these spare parts that we left, and we're gonna crochet all around the open neckline up until this point, like same point where we started on the other side, and then we're gonna turn around, but I'm gonna show you. So just continue with set of 3 double crochets, even if it looks a bit weird right now. It's totally normal. And as you can see at the other piece, we're just gonna go all around, and then we have this little pattern which makes a cute little collar. I'm gonna do around 3 to 4 rows of this, but you can just keep going for as long as you want to. And then you can also add the same details than I taught you to do at the pockets. If you want to have a look back at it, feel free to always jump back, because these details, like what I explained to you, you can literally use for anything. Now I'm gonna do the first row, and when we like reach this point here, as you can see, like where the two, like the front and the back piece kind of connects. We're just gonna keep going because we want to do the collar in like one row all around. So right here, I'm not going to set one, I'm going to jump right into this next one here. So now we're kind of crocheting at the back of the polo shirt. Now in my last stitch of the back piece, so here I'm not setting another set, I'm just gonna go right here. Oops. So we're now at the front again, on the other side though, and I'm gonna go up until this point right here. Now we're coming to almost the last stitch. Like these are now the last stitches that we're gonna do, and we're gonna do 2 again only, just how we did for the other rows. We're gonna chain up 1, 2, 3, flip around the project and start with our first set of 3 double crochets right here. And like this, we're now gonna go all around the neck part again. So if I put the piece like this, we're currently going to the second row of the collar. I'm now gonna go again all over here, then chain up 2 again once we arrive here, and crochet into the other direction. So just how we finish this way, we're going to go all around for as many rows as you want to. Like here, for example, on my other piece, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows and then the details, but this yarn was way thinner than this one I used. So I think I'm going to do 3 or 4 rows and then I'm going to add the details. And the details, as you can see, I added just the exact same way then on the pockets, so always into the middle stitch. So if you're finished with your neckline, you can go back to the pocket and how I explained the details there if you want to check back, but also I think you know by now how to do it. If not, feel free to check back. And I now want to show you where you can add your details on your piece. And I'm going to explain this by having a look on my first prototype. So once you're done with your collar, like your straight lines, you might want to add details here, but all of these details that I added, you can also leave if it's too much for you because it's a lot of details. But I just want to show you as a little inspiration what I did, and then I'm going to leave it up to you where you place them. So as you can see, I did them on the pockets, like same way, and then I did them like starting from here down here. So this is like where the buttons go then in the end. I just sewed on the buttons and then kind of like these details are where I do the buttons. You can also just place the buttons through these, like, you know, these parts between the sets of 3 double crochets. I just kind of like the look of placing them in some details. So I did 1 row of details down here, and once I arrived at this part, I just started to like continue doing the details, and I did like go 1 time around the body down here because I love that too. And then once you added your like once you connected this part up until the point where you feel like it's good to have enough space for your arm. I like to do it very low so that there's enough room for my arm to easily go through and to have it a bit more oversized and comfy. Then you can also use the yarn that you used for connecting, or just start a new yarn and go all around the arm opening, just because I feel like it looks more like a sleeve then, like a tiny sleeve. I mean, you could also do it like at the neckline, add some more rows around and then add the details, but I prefer this way. And yeah, this is just optional if you want to add some details. If you feel like it's too much, you can also leave it. You could also add a zipper up here, or maybe do some ties with a little, I don't know, with like chain ups, so you can tie it together with little bows. Yeah, this is just my inspiration. If you want to take a screenshot, now is the time, so you can see where you could add details if you want to, and then you can add as many buttons if you want to at this side of your polo shirt, and then you're kind of finished. Just block it if you want to, if you don't want it to change shapes, and then that's it. Then you have your polo shirt, and I hope like you're happy with yours. And now off to the outro and detail shots.
Wipe the makeup from her face. I wish I hadn't met her. I wish I didn't wanna stay. I wanna wear her sweater and not break down in my room, 'cause there's nothing sweeter than the bitter taste of you. Than the bitter taste of you.
And here she is, the finished polo shirt. I just finished all the details while I was traveling to Amsterdam, and here she is, my version of the polo shirt pattern, and I hope you like it. It's also now available as a PDF on my BELINA shop, in case you want to check it out. And yeah, if you want to check out the yarn restock, because I'm obsessed with these two colors together. And I hope you liked the video. I hope you're happy with your result, and I can't wait to see you back on my account for your next crochet project. And yeah, slide into my DMs if you recreate it, because that's what makes me most happy, to see people actually crochet my designs. And can't wait to see your version. Have a lovely day!